Today is May 30th, 2008, and this is my commentary for the Butoh production that took place Wednesday last week. Now, to begin with, I would like to point out the costume, which is not usually the first thing that I often mention in commentaries. However, it is important to note from the beginning that the actors were not wearing anything except for pieces of string that basically covered up the general areas that need to be covered up to make it PG-13. Now, as promiscuous as that may sound, personally, I feel that this choice of costume, or lack of costume, was necessary in terms of being faithful to the concepts and theories of Butoh, as Butoh productions often like to say that they present both the ugly and beautiful aspects of life, and the moments to capture the moments in life and in the imagination where that are often not portrayed in Western or Western influenced theater. And so, in order to present such aspects to the fullest of degrees, it would be required that the human body was presented for everything it was, and to present the human body as beautiful in whatever motion it is put in, and whatever position it is put in. Therefore, after a while watching the production, audience members, including myself, didn't seem to mind at all that these people were not wearing very much. The only situation where I actually noticed or took notice of the fact that they were wearing so little was the beginning, when, of course, the shock of the beginning, etc., etc. But also at the end, where I'm not sure if this was an accident or not, but the protagonist was standing in the middle of the stage and rotating in a statuesque manner, while three other actors were painting his body, and upon painting the front, managed to paint a certain area of his body that was presented to the audience. Not the whole of it, but a certain aspect of it, and from that point, I think audience members, mostly myself, was rather sympathetic towards the actor. However, it can be seen in that perspective, and it can also be seen in the perspective that if this had been done on purpose, it could have been a method to grab the audience's attention, which has a humorous side to it, but also, in theory, and being faithful to the theory, this actually makes sense in terms of Butoh. So, yes. In terms of set, the set was used very effectively. It was a very simplistic stage. There was a box, and then there was a red infrastructure behind it, and both were used. The box, people went inside the box, people knocked on the box, people moved around the box, there was a really good moment where an actor would get into the box and be the torso, and then another actor would be the leg, so it would look like one elongated body, which was for humorous effect. The box would go upon the infrastructure at one point, which was a moment of tension building, as it was very likely that the actor would have fallen had he not had the muscle, or I'm not exactly sure how he did it, in fact, but he did it, which was astonishing. I was astonished by this production in the way that people's physicality really came into it, because often theater presents beauty and the way that the body moves and how meaning is portrayed. However, when it is raised to such a degree that physical strength is needed to accomplish such tasks, it almost turns into a dance or a acrobatics. Yeah, that's the word. Acrobatics. And so when it is presented in theater, it becomes a whole new different brand of theater that is not acrobatics, not dance, but cannot be interpreted as your typical Western plotline oriented dramatical production. It is hard to interpret exactly what the themes were. My best guess is that the actors and the director wanted to go along the lines of what Artaud felt were the fundamentals of theater, and the same idea is replicated with the Argentinian Fuerza Bruta or any African theater where it is mostly based upon rhythm and music. And therefore, this Butoh was based upon visual aestheticy rather than a linear plotline.